I'm Gaz, and this is Let's Play Armageddon Empires. It's a hybrid strategy game. It's sort of a cross between a computer strategy 4X game, tabletop war game, and a card game. And I guess we should start off by getting a few things out of the way first, which... First thing is I'm probably going to swear a lot. Like, I'm going to cuss out the computer a lot in this game because it is very frustrating. And a lot of that has to do with the fact that it is very luck-based. There's luck of the draw in the cards you get, the luck of the dice for everything you do, and the computer just in general seems to cheat. It seems to get hits and better dice rolls than it should, and it seems to be able to put down units that when I play the faction I never have enough energy or resources for. I mean, it's aggravating. There's also a bit of a learning curve. I mean, it's pretty complicated. I'll try and sort of go over the game itself, but not really as an in-depth tutorial. I'll put a link to the website where you can get the game and read the tutorials and all that crap. But yeah, I've only won the game once, and in fact, if we look at the Hall of Fame here, we can see I won with the machines, and that was today. I also lost as the Imperials because I got nuked mid-game. And I'm pretty sure the computer cheated to get that nuke. But this is only games I've finished. I mean, I've rage quit many more. So... Anyway, Armageddon Empires. The story behind this game is that in 2025, Earth comes into contact with two alien races. One is the Xenopods, which is a biological alien life scrubber, I guess. And they have been waging war with the Machine Empire, who comes in after they discover the Xenopods are in the solar system and they are harvesting from Earth. And basically the Xenopods are trying to gather all the biomass they can and genetically grow or modify an army to fight against the Machine Empire, and the machines don't appreciate that, and so they decide to wipe out all biological life on Earth. And so for 20 years there's a war going on between the two that just turns Earth into a wasteland. And then they leave. And 300 years later, this game takes place, and the humans have come together in the last Imperium of Man to fight against the remnants of the Xenopods and the machines. And there's a fourth faction, the Free Mutants, which were genetically modified humans that the Xenopods tried to use and just sort of managed to break away. Anyway, I will probably play a game with all four factions. I don't expect to win many, so we'll probably go through them relatively quickly. Okay, let's start. Well, wait a minute. You see this create deck and edit deck here. There is a capacity for customizing your armies. I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to use the basic decks that come with the game. So let's start off with the Imperium. They're sort of the baseline race. Now each race actually does have a special trait. For the Empire, it's a bigger limit on your armies that don't have a hero. We'll talk about that as we go. I don't think they're very good, though. I have a lot of difficulty with them. That's annoying. We'll put in two computers so they can hopefully fight each other. we're not going to enable this Cult of the Wastelands. There were two add-ons, sort of expansions. I mean, they weren't really, but they're two add-ons for this game. And they add different things, and Cult of the Wastelands adds some things I don't really want to play with right now. I just want to stick to the base game. So we'll just keep all this as is. And go ahead and start. Okay. Here's the first part where we get screwed over. We decide who goes first by rolling these dice. Should say roll dice. Whatever. Okay, so we got first. Lucky us. Okay. Now we're limited to where our starting area can be, but there's a thing called supply, which I'll talk about, that radiates out of your starting area. And so you want to put this staging tile as close inward as you can, so it extends your radius further in. So we'll do that, let the computer do that for themselves. Okay, now we get our palace, our first stronghold, which has to go on the staging area. And this is where we will play all of our units to. Let's go ahead and start. Okay. So, if you saw when I put down the palace, it had 4 resources at the top. It had a human resource, a materials, energy, and technology. If you're playing as the machines, you don't generally need human resources. Everyone else does, which I believe gives the machines a huge advantage. This thing right here allows us to buy initiative dice. And as you see, we start out with 3 as the default, and we can get rid of some of these resources and to get more, because it's very important that you get the initiative and go first on a turn, because that affects your AP, your action points, which is the number of things you can do on the cards here. It's part of their deployment costs, but there's various other abilities and stuff that you need it for. And unlike conventional war games, the people who don't get to go first don't have any compensation. You know, like some tabletop war games, the person who rolls first will get to go first, but the other person gets to, you know, deploy first or something like that. There's nothing like that in this game. If you don't get first, you get severely screwed over, and if you get last, you are really screwed over. Because when you go first, you get 12 AP. If you go third, you get 6. So it really, really screws you over. But since we need these resources, we cannot afford to buy any dice right now. So let's see how this goes. Okay, second, so we get 8. That's not so bad, but Xenopods, I'm not too crazy about them getting that, because they tend to be rather fast. They have cheap units. Okay, so we see here I've got a couple units, these leopards. These are reconnaissance tanks. So they're very weak, and they're not the best recon either because they can't stealth. But they're all we have right now. So I'll go ahead and put one on my palace. Now I can't actually use it. If we look, it's stuck in my garrison. To actually use it and go around the map, we need to create a separate army, which is going to cost AP. So let's just call this Recon 1, and then drag this into the army. Okay. So, now to move it around, you right-click on it. If you saw there, it had a 1 action point for 3 squares, or for 3 tile, rather. So let's just go around. Okay. Now these are independents, the little blue X. And Okay, they're not too tough. They've got one attack die, one defense die, and 2 hit points. The rest of this stuff is other stuff, but they've got wave attack, which means that they get a +1 for each other wave attack unit in the front rank. So, these guys are actually really tough, because when you start out, there's like 5 across, so they'll all start on the front row, and they'll each get +3. So it's really a 4, not a 1. And we don't want to tangle with them until we get an army going. Now, with the Cult of the Wastelands thing on, that thing I talked about that I didn't turn on at the beginning there, these independents will prowl around and do stuff. Right now, it'll just stay there, so we can avoid it, which is good. And I don't think I can do anything else. No. And you need 3 AP to be able to draw a new card. And for humans, well, I think it's for everybody, except for the machines, you have a maximum of 8. The machines get 9. Let's also talk about supply while we're here. We turn this on, and you see this green area. This is my area of influence. And so long as my units are in there, they get full strength and full movement power. As soon as they go out of that, it all goes down to 1. And when I was first learning this game, that really screwed me over. So the way you expand that is by finding other resources or areas to conquer, but they're very sparse. I guess the whole point of this game is just giving the atmosphere of limited resources and every unit counts. I guess before we go to the next turn, we can talk about what units I have. We got another one of those recon units. You can actually put these into armies, but it's too weak to actually be useful for anything. But here we have another one. Now these are rangers, which have stealth and recon and commando, so they're actually better off individual. And sending them off into enemy territory, trying to, well, if I had an assassin, I could try and assassinate enemy heroes. As it is, this guy can't actually do anything. He doesn't have sabotage, so I can't send him to destroy buildings. Here we have some grenadiers. These are another basic infantry unit. Now this guy, Artemis Vance, is a hero. And heroes are generally good to either attach to your strongholds and outposts or an army. In this case, this guy is a scientist, so we would want him to stay here at our stronghold, because if we do, he not only helps against enemy espionage, but he increases action points by 2 if he's in the same hex as an intel center. Now, I don't think we actually have that. We just have the palace. So, you look at this first number, and that is the army size that this guy can have. Like I said, for the humans, they can have up to 3 units in an army without a hero. As soon as you have a hero, it's limited to that. And so you want it like a general, a more military-oriented hero, because they generally have like 8. Which is pretty useful, but at the same time, the bigger your army, the more action points it takes to move it around the board. So you really want to wait until a little bit mid-game to end-game to have your big armies. Now there are 2 other units here, and these are attack units, I guess. In this case, they're both air units, and they have, you cannot put them in an army. They have limited functionality, but basically they can help you attack an enemy before you actually attack it with an army. And there are various types. These are aircraft, So if I use them, they will actually come back to my hand unless they're destroyed. There were also missiles, which are one-time use things, and there's something else. Anyway, I can't do anything else. As soon as I end my turn, these action points will go away, so it's just a waste, but I don't have a choice. So let's try this again. Okay. Now second is better than third. Let's do a little more recon. Okay, here's another one. Slavers. They got vengeance. Okay. Well, I'm gonna need an army before I can tackle these guys, and they don't actually really do anything. Like, they don't give me anything for beating them. If there was a city here, like a neutral city, I might want to wipe them out, but right now it's just not viable. So let's get a second recon going. Although this is going to prevent me from getting a new card. Oh well. Recon 2. Okay, let's just send him off this way. Okay, now this sand dune has some material. If I can get a hero here, I can build a collector. And I definitely want that because these are very hard to come by. The green ones are hard to get. They might not be for like the xenopods, but for humans it's very difficult to get them, as well as the human resources, ironically enough. But we want to make sure we don't go out of supply, so we can go almost to the edge of the map and start looking for things. Okay. Well, I'm gonna have to start considering drawing some new cards. Okay. Occasionally you will find these resource depot things. Okay, good. Wow. In this case, it gave us quite a bit. Sometimes it gives you nothing. We still don't have enough of anything to be useful, however. Okay, how far over? Okay, so we're at the edge of that. I guess I will spend... Okay, well, we got a few more units, but again, they require some human resources that we just aren't getting. I'm tempted to spend one of these. I know I said they're very valuable, but getting 12 action points is also very good. Wow, should I get an army going? I kind of think maybe I should. These guys have a 5 defense, which makes them very tough. So let's go ahead and add that. And it looks like I'll be drawing some cards anyway. A squatter's camp. Okay, human resources. Good, good, good. We'll go ahead and use that. Man, if I got these rangers, this could be very useful. Yeah, I'll do that. Okay, so we're gonna need a small army for that. Okay, good. Good, good, good. Now this is a very small map, so I think our opponents will end up being over in these corners. Do I want to spend another one? No. No, I don't. Shit. Well, I guess I'll use him. And he's not actually going to be useful for anything. I could put him in an army? Maybe? No, I don't want to do that. I mean, he could be stealth, he could be espionage. Well, he's not actually doing me any good there. I could use those resources. Well, let's get a ranger team going. That's why I got these guys in the first place. Okay, so rangers have the stealth ability. That is indicated by this. It will take 1 action point to put them into stealth, but it's very good that you do that because it allows you to put them on the same space as an enemy and not be considered in combat. So we'll go ahead and do that, and we will spend the action points to get them up. Okay, that's what I thought. That's a city tile. Unfortunately, there's nothing there but tentacle beasts. So, we will avoid that. I think I can afford one of those. You can sort of get an idea for what's going on with your opponent by how many dice they're willing to buy. Like the Free Mutants have probably got something going on, but it also shows that they had the resources to spend. So that might be a problem. Now, I could... I mean, they're not on an actual resource, so it would be kind of a waste to spend the resources to destroy them, but I could use an airstrike to weaken them, weaken the tentacle beasts, and get over there. But I think I'm just going to use these guys to scout around. Fuel storage tanks, okay. Now when you claim something, it stops your movement completely, so it kind of sucks. Okay. Let's get an idea of where I can go here. Claim the junkyard. Ooh, an abandoned town. Okay. Now that's going to give us an energy and a technology bonus. So I might want to get him up there. I do have some action points now, though, so let's hope we can... Okay, ooh. I need this. Adds one for each facility level to the threshold. Adds one what? All facilities in the same hex receive a fate pool equal to the intel center, blah blah blah. AP bonus 2. Okay. And so we also get 2 because we've got the hero. So let's use that. Now, you can add these extra facilities to your bases, but they are limited to a certain number of squares, and if you want more, you have to upgrade it. Now, I could do that, but I don't really need to spend the resources doing that because we've got no other cards in my hand. So let's just draw one more. Okay, good. Well, she's a good hero by herself because she's a saboteur and an assassin, so she'd be good to send off on her own to disrupt the enemy. And if I had an actual, well, if I had her attached to the rangers here, might be useful, but damn, we definitely want to get that because it's out of supply. So if I put down a facility, it would extend my supply. But I think I might only be able to put down a collector right now, and I don't think collectors exert that. I might be wrong, but anyway, it's been about half an hour now, so I will stop it here, and I will see you next time.